So let's talk about how we can do some color editing in Lightroom. First, you want to choose a color or a photo that has a bit of color to it. So here's an example photo. You can see when I took this picture, there's lots of different colors going on in there. We've got the bright red of the building, and we've got the blue in the sky, and all those different buoys have different colors as well on the wall. So to change the color, we're going to be using this symbol right here on the right hand side. Now certainly if you turn your screen the other direction, you can see the name of the options to change here. First, we might want to do some editing to the photo in general, so we're not going to focus on any one color in particular. So the saturation is going to be how bold all the colors are. So if I increase that, you can see that the colors really start to pop. If you ever go too far with one of the sliders within your editing in Lightroom, it can push things so much that you're going to not have a very good effect. So I probably wouldn't push it too far in any one of the settings, because if you zoom in on the image, you'll actually lose a little bit of the quality of the picture the higher you go on one of the adjustments. So if I'll stay zoomed in here so you can see how the vibrance and tint and temperature really change how the image looks. So vibrance has to do with, a little bit more with how the colors are going to show up. If I go to the left, it's going to do something where it kind of makes all the colors a little more dull, where on the other side, it starts to make them a little bit more intense. So it's pretty similar to saturation, but maybe we'll do a little bit on vibrance. Tint, you can see that it goes from green all the way over to violet on here. Things start to look pretty weird pretty quick if you go one way or the other. But sometimes you might, when you took the picture, have it be a little too green and a little bit too violet, so you can change the tint in the overall image. Temperature has to do with kind of when the camera was taking the picture, what white balance was used. So if you feel like the white balance was off, like the image is too cool or too warm, you can adjust the temperature of the image afterwards right here. So I opted to have a little bit of a higher temperature just to warm it up a little bit. So besides that, with color editing, you can actually go in and change something called the mix. So you can focus on a particular type of color, let's say red, because red is really prominent in here. And I could change how that one color looks. So again, I'll zoom in on the red wall so you can really see how this changes. So I could make it more of an orange, or I could make it more of a dark red by changing the hue here. Saturation again can be changing how the color shows up, and luminance has to do with kind of the brightness and darkness of the color as well. So again, you could do that for any of the colors that are found within the image. So for example, we've got that blue buoy right there. So if I click on blue, I could change how that type of blue shows up in the image. Okay, all this has to do with how you want the photo to look in the end. So after you're totally happy with how something looks with the color, you can move on to one of the other options within Lightroom to change. But this is just one of the things you can do while you're editing a picture to make it look the way you want. Again, once you're totally done with an image, remember you'd go up to the export button here. So you could export it to your camera roll. And then after that's successfully exported, you'd be able to upload it and turn it in through Schoology. So that is editing color.